Hey there, welcome in. Go ahead and get comfortable because you don't have to do anything for the next little while except let your body sink into wherever you're lying right now. Maybe you're tucked under a heavy blanket. Maybe you've got one leg out because that's just how it has to be. However you are, that's exactly right. There's nothing to fix tonight. I'm really glad you're here. Honestly, whether this is your first time drifting off with me, or you've made this a little part of your nightly routine, thank you for letting me be the quiet voice in the room. That's the whole reason this channel exists. And if you find yourself getting drowsy tonight, if this helps even a little, it would mean the world if you tap that like button and subscribe before your eyes get too heavy. It's a tiny thing, but it helps these calm little corners of the internet find more people who need them. That's really all I'm here for, you know? Helping the world get a little more rest, one sleepy soul at a time. So here's how tonight is going to go. I'm going to tell you some of the most gentle, most soothing facts about the natural world. Nothing scary, nothing that asks anything of you. Just soft, slow, wandering little truths about this planet we happen to live on. And the secret is, you don't need to remember a single one of them. You don't need to follow along. If your mind drifts off in the middle of a sentence and you never hear the end of it, that's not a problem. That's actually the whole point. The words are just here to give your busy mind something soft to rest against, like a warm hand on your back, until sleep quietly comes and carries you off. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. There we go. Most of us carry the whole day right there in our shoulders and never even notice. And let your jaw loosen a little. You can let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. These are the small places we hold on tight without meaning to, all day long. And right now, in the dark, there's simply no reason to hold on anymore. Let me start somewhere calm. Let's start with trees, because trees are the great patient elders of the world. And there's something about them that just slows a person down. Here's something lovely. Trees, it turns out, are not the lonely, silent things we imagine them to be. Beneath the soil, hidden away from our eyes, they're all quietly connected. Their roots weave together with tiny threads of fungus, threads far thinner than a single strand of your hair. And through that soft, tangled web, trees actually share things with one another. A big old tree, standing tall and strong in the sunlight, will send sugar and nourishment down through that underground network to a smaller, younger tree struggling in the shade. Scientists who study this have started calling it the Wood Wide Web, which I've always thought was rather sweet. A whole forest standing together in the dark, quietly taking care of each other, and none of us ever hearing a sound. And think about how slowly a tree lives. There are trees alive on this earth right now that were already old when your great-great-grandparents were children. Some of them, the bristlecone pines that grow high up on windswept mountain slopes, have been standing quietly in the same spot for close to 5,000 years. 5,000 years. Imagine all the nights that have passed over one of those trees. All the moons that have risen and set. All the storms it has felt and simply, gently, weathered, swaying a little and staying right where it was. There's a kind of deep peace in that, isn't there? The world can rush and hurry all it likes, and the old tree just keeps breathing slowly, growing a fraction of an inch a year, in no rush at all to be anywhere other than exactly where it is. You can borrow a little of that tonight. You don't have to be anywhere else either. Let's drift now, slowly, toward the water, toward the ocean, which covers most of this planet in a soft, endless blanket of blue. Here's something that always makes me feel calm to think about. Somewhere out in the middle of the sea, right now, while you're lying here, there are waves rolling gently across the surface. And those very same waves have been traveling for thousands of kilometers. A wave you might one day see lapping softly onto a beach could have started its long, slow journey days earlier, born from a distant breath of wind far out in the open water. The whole ocean is always moving, always rolling, in these enormous, unhurried rhythms, breathing in and breathing out, just like you're doing right now, in and out. There's no effort to it. The sea doesn't try to make waves. It simply lets them happen. And deep down, far below where any light can reach, the ocean becomes one of the quietest, stillest places anywhere in existence. Down there in the dark, thousands of meters below the surface, the water barely moves at all. It's cool and calm and completely silent. And it has been that way for longer than we can really imagine. There are creatures that live down in that gentle dark, drifting slowly through the water, glowing with their own soft little lights, like tiny living stars floating through an underwater night sky. They spend their whole lives in that hush, never in a hurry, just drifting, glowing, being. Isn't that a peaceful thought to hold on to as you settle in? Now let me tell you something about the moon, since it might well be up there right now, watching over you through the window. The moon is slowly, ever so slowly, drifting away from us. Every single year, it moves a little farther from the Earth, roughly 3.5 centimeters, which is about the length of your fingernail. You'd never notice it in a lifetime. You'd never notice it in 1,000 lifetimes. But over the great slow ages of the world, that tiny drift adds up. And long, long ago, the moon hung much closer and much larger in the sky. If you could stand on an ancient shoreline millions upon millions of years back, the moon would have loomed huge and bright above you, and the tides it pulled would have been enormous. And the moon is what gives us our tides, you know. That gentle, patient pull, tugging the whole ocean toward it, ever so slightly, rocking the seas back and forth, like a mother slowly rocking a cradle. The whole planet, gently rocked to sleep, night after night after night. Let your breathing settle in with that thought, nice and slow. There's no need to make it deep or careful. Just let it come and go on its own, the way the tide does. It knows what to do without you telling it anything at all. Let's wander back onto land for a moment, somewhere soft and green. Let me tell you about moss, of all things, because moss is one of the most gentle, forgiving things that grows. Moss doesn't have roots the way other plants do. It doesn't dig down and grip and fight for its place. It simply rests softly on stones and fallen logs and the shady sides of old trees, drinking in moisture straight from the air and the rain. It asks for almost nothing. A little damp, a little shade, and it's perfectly content. And moss is patient too. It grows so slowly that a patch of it, no bigger than your two hands laid side by side, might have taken many long years to spread across that stone. It's been quietly cushioning the forest floor for hundreds of millions of years, longer than there have been flowers, longer than there have been trees as we know them. If you've ever pressed your hand into a thick, cool cushion of moss, you know that soft, damp, yielding feeling. Imagine sinking into that softness now. That's the kind of softness holding you tonight. And here's a little something about the rain. Since we're talking about damp and green things, that wonderful smell in the air just after it rains, that fresh, earthy, comforting scent, it actually has a name. It's called petrichor, and it comes from tiny oils that plants release into the dry soil, mixed with something made by little bacteria that live down in the earth. When the first raindrops fall after a long dry spell, they lift all of that up into the air in a fine, soft mist. And that's what you're breathing in. So the next time you catch that smell drifting through an open window, you'll know you're smelling the ground itself, quietly breathing a sigh of relief. Even the earth relaxes when the rain finally comes. Let's go somewhere warm and slow now. Let me tell you about the humble snail of all creatures, because there is no living thing on earth in less of a hurry. A snail carries its whole home on its back and moves through the world at its own unbothered pace, gliding along on a little ribbon of softness it makes itself, so that it can travel even across the sharp edge of a blade of grass without the slightest harm. And when the world gets too dry or too cold, a snail simply tucks itself away inside its shell, seals up the door, and waits. It can rest like that, dozing quietly for a very long time, until the conditions outside are soft and kind again. There's real wisdom in that, if you think about it. Knowing when to simply close the door on the world, curl up somewhere safe, and wait for gentler weather. That's exactly what you're doing right now. Closing the door on the day, waiting for morning. And morning always comes. Feel how heavy your body is starting to feel, sinking down into the bed beneath you. That heaviness is a good thing. That's your body letting go, one small piece at a time. Your feet growing heavy, your legs sinking, your hands resting open and still. Let me leave you for this first little while with something about the stars, because the stars are the oldest bedtime story there is. When you look up at a star on a clear night, you're not really seeing it as it is right now. You're seeing light that left it long, long ago, traveling across an unimaginable stretch of space just to reach your eye tonight. Some of that starlight has been on its way to you for hundreds of years, some for thousands. So in a way, when you gaze up at the night sky, you're looking at the deep and gentle past, at a soft, glowing memory of light. And all of it, every single star, is up there being perfectly quiet, perfectly patient, shining away in the dark without asking anything of anyone. The whole vast sky, calm and slow and endless, keeping watch over you while you rest. So just stay here with me a little longer. There's nowhere to be, nothing to do, nothing to solve, nothing to remember, nothing to carry. The trees are standing quietly in the dark. The tide is rolling in and out, in and out. The moss is soft on the stones, and the rain has settled the dust, and the old snail is curled up safe in its shell, and the stars are shining their slow, ancient light down over all of it, and over you. And I'll keep going, softly, telling you these gentle little things, for as long as you need, because that's all I'm here to do tonight. Help you let go of the day, help you drift, one sleepy soul at a time. So let's keep drifting together, nice and slow. Let me tell you about honey, of all the sweet things in the world. Did you know that honey never really spoils? People have opened up jars of honey that were sealed away thousands of years ago, tucked into old tombs and forgotten cellars. And that honey was still perfectly good, still golden, still soft, still sweet. There's something so comforting about that, isn't there? That a little jar of gathered sunshine can just wait, patiently, for thousands of years, losing nothing of what it is. And to make even a small spoonful of it, a bee will visit somewhere around 1,000 flowers, drifting from bloom to bloom on a warm afternoon, gathering just the tiniest drop from each one. So the next time you taste a little honey, remember, you're tasting 1,000 quiet visits to 1,000 flowers, all folded up into one sweet golden bite. The whole slow, humming summer, saved in a jar. And speaking of bees, here's something lovely. On a warm evening, when the day's work is finally done, bees will gather back inside the hive and go still. They sleep in their own way, tucked close together in the dark, and some of them will even hold on to each other's little legs while they rest, so no one drifts away in the night. Imagine that. A whole soft cluster of tiny creatures, warm and drowsy, holding on to one another until morning. There's a gentleness in the natural world that we don't always notice, but it's there, all around us, all the time. Everything, in its own way, finds a place to rest. Let your jaw go soft now. A lot of us hold the whole day, right there, clenched up tight, without even knowing it. So just let it loosen. Let your teeth part ever so slightly. Let your tongue rest easy in your mouth, and feel that softness spread up around your eyes, smoothing out the little lines in your forehead, letting everything go quiet and slack. There's nothing your face needs to do right now. No expression to hold. Just let it all melt. Now, let me take you back to the trees for a moment, because there's something happening in a forest that almost nobody knows about. Beneath the ground, hidden under all those layers of soil and fallen leaves, the trees are actually talking to one another, not with words, of course, but through a vast, delicate web of tiny threads that weave through the earth and connect their roots together, tree to tree, across the whole forest floor. And through that hidden network, the trees share things. A big, old, strong tree will quietly send food and water over to a little sapling struggling in the shade, helping it along until it's strong enough to reach the light on its own. They warn each other too. If one tree is troubled, it can send a soft signal out through the soil, letting the others know so they can prepare. Scientists have a rather sweet name for this hidden web. They call it the Wood Wide Web. So the next time you walk through a forest, know that all around you, beneath your feet, there's a whole quiet conversation going on. A whole community of ancient living things, looking after each other in the dark. You're never really walking through a forest alone. You're walking through a family. Isn't that a lovely thing to fall asleep on? The idea that even the trees look after one another. That even something rooted to a single spot for hundreds of years still finds a way to reach out and care for its neighbors. Nothing in nature is truly alone, and neither are you. Let me tell you now about something very small and very patient. The little seed. A seed can wait an astonishingly long time for the right moment to grow. Some seeds will lie there in the cool, dark earth for years, decades even, just waiting. Waiting for the right amount of rain, the right warmth, the right soft touch of spring, before they ever dare to open. There was one seed, found buried in the frozen ground that turned out to be thousands of years old. And when it was carefully planted and cared for, it actually grew. After all that time asleep in the dark, it woke up, and it reached for the light, and it lived. Think about that kind of patience, that kind of quiet trust that the right moment will eventually come. A seed doesn't worry that it's taking too long. It doesn't rush itself. It simply rests in the dark, gathering everything it needs until the day it's finally ready to unfold. And you're a little bit like that seed tonight, resting in the dark, gathering yourself back together, trusting that morning, and the light will come in its own good time. Let that thought settle over you like a warm blanket. There's no hurry. There's nothing to rush toward. The whole natural world takes its time, and it's never once been late. Now let's drift somewhere cool and green again. Have you ever really looked at a fern? One of those soft, feathery green plants that grow in the damp shade of the forest? Ferns are some of the oldest plants there are. They were here long before the flowers ever bloomed, long before there was grass underfoot, unfurling their delicate green fronds in a world we would hardly recognize. And when a fern is brand new, before it opens up, it's curled into the sweetest little spiral, tucked up tight like a tiny green question mark, or like a sleeping creature curled in on itself. And then, slowly, so slowly you could never catch it moving, it unfurls, it opens up, one gentle coil at a time, reaching out into the cool green air. There's no effort in it, no straining, just a slow, patient opening in its own quiet time. Everything soft and green and old, taking its time to become what it's meant to be. Feel your breath doing something similar right now, slowing down, softening, each breath in a little gentler than the last, each breath out carrying a little more of the day away with it, in and out, like the tide we talked about, like waves rolling up onto a quiet shore and sliding away again. You don't have to make your breathing do anything. Just let it find its own slow rhythm, the way it knows how to when you finally stop paying attention to it. Let me tell you about something that happens far up in the mountains, in the cold and the quiet. Up there, when the snow falls, it doesn't fall the way rain does. It drifts. Each single snowflake is so light, so delicate, that it takes its own sweet time floating down to the ground, turning and tumbling gently through the still air. And every one of them, every single snowflake that has ever fallen, is different. No two are ever quite the same. Each one forms its own tiny, perfect, six-sided pattern as it drifts down through the freezing air. A little frozen work of art that exists for just a moment before it settles and melts away. Millions and millions of them, all falling silently, all completely unique, blanketing the whole mountainside in a soft, deep hush. There's nothing quieter in all the world than fresh snow falling in the dark. It settles over everything and just soaks up all the sound until the whole world goes still and muffled and peaceful, like the earth itself has been tucked in for the night. And that hush, that deep, muffled quiet, is a little like the quiet settling over you now, everything going soft around the edges, every sound in the room growing far away and dim, the world getting smaller and warmer and closer, until it's just you, and the soft dark, and the gentle sound of my voice. Let me tell you about the swans. because swans have always seemed to me like the most peaceful creatures on the water. A pair of swans will often stay together their whole lives, gliding side by side across the still surface of a lake, year after year, and when they rest, they tuck their heads back and lay them gently along their own soft feathers, floating there in the middle of the calm water, rocking ever so slightly on the tiny ripples. They look so serene doing it, so completely at ease, drifting wherever the gentle water carries them. And sometimes, two swans will face each other and curve their long necks down just so, and the shape they make together, without ever meaning to, is the shape of a heart. Just two quiet birds, resting on the water, making something beautiful without even trying. Nature does that all the time, you know. It makes beautiful things quietly, gently, without any fuss, whether anyone's there to see it or not. A sunset over an empty field, a perfect spiral in a seashell no one will ever find. A heart drawn by two sleepy swans on a lake at dusk. Let your hands grow heavy now. Really let them go. Feel them resting there, warm and still, all the tension draining right out of your fingers. There's nothing for your hands to hold on to tonight. Nothing to reach for. Nothing to grip. Just let them be soft and open and heavy, sinking down into the bed. And let that heaviness travel slowly up your arms, all the way to your shoulders, until your whole upper body feels loose and warm and wonderfully heavy, like it's being gently held. Let me tell you about the way a river finds its way to the sea, because it's one of the most patient journeys there is. A river never rushes to get anywhere, not really. It just follows the gentle pull of the land, winding this way and that, taking the easiest path it can find, curving around every hill and stone in its way. It doesn't fight the rocks. It simply flows around them, soft and yielding. And over enough time, that same soft water can carve its way straight through solid stone, not by force, just by being patient, just by never stopping and never straining, and always going the gentle way. Whole deep canyons in this world were carved out by nothing more than quiet water taking its slow, unhurried time. There's a lesson in that, I think, for those long nights when everything feels like too much. You don't have to force your way through anything. You can be like the water, soft and patient and yielding, and still get exactly where you're meant to go in the end. Every river, no matter how far inland it starts, no matter how many twists and turns lie ahead of it, eventually finds its way home to the sea. And so will you. Just let yourself flow. Feel yourself flowing now, softening, sinking, drifting downstream towards sleep. There's no effort in it. You don't have to try to fall asleep. You just have to let go and let the gentle current carry you, the same way it carries the river down to the wide and waiting sea. Let me tell you one more small and gentle thing before we drift on. Out in the meadows, on warm summer nights, there are little lights that float and blink in the tall grass. Fireflies. And the soft glow they make, that warm little flicker of gold, is one of the most gentle lights in all of nature. It's a cool light too. It gives off no heat at all, just a soft, cold, golden glimmer that they carry with them through the dark. And on the right kind of evening, in the right kind of field, there can be thousands of them, all rising up out of the grass at once, drifting and blinking and floating on the warm night air, like the stars themselves have come down low to dance in the meadow for a while. Children have chased those little lights for as long as there have been children, and meadows and warm summer nights. And there's something so peaceful about them, blinking away slow and gentle in the dark, asking nothing, just glowing quietly for the sheer soft joy of it. A whole field full of tiny drifting golden lights, keeping the darkness company. So picture that now, if you like, as you sink a little deeper. A warm, dark meadow, and the soft grass moving gently in the breeze, and all those little golden lights floating up around you, slow and quiet and calm, and you, lying safe and warm in the middle of it all, held by the gentle dark, with nowhere to be and nothing to do but rest. Let it all go now. The day is behind you. The world is soft and quiet and slow. And I'll keep going, gently, for as long as you need me to. And there's no hurry now, none at all. We've got all the time in the world, you and I, and nothing left to do but let the night settle softly around us. Let me tell you about the clouds, because clouds are some of the gentlest travelers there are. You look up at one on a lazy afternoon, drifting slow across the blue, and it seems like the lightest thing in the world, doesn't it? Soft and white and weightless. But here's the quiet secret of it. A single one of those big, puffy clouds, the kind that just floats along without a care, can hold hundreds of thousands of kilograms of water inside it. Imagine that, all that weight, drifting up there so softly you'd never guess it was heavy at all. And it holds together, not by clinging, not by straining, but simply by being made of drops so tiny and so light that the gentle push of the warm air below is enough to carry it. It just floats, held up by nothing more than a soft breath of rising air. There's a kind of magic in that, when you think about it. Something so heavy, held so gently, moving so slow across the sky, and maybe you can let yourself be held that same way tonight. Held up softly by the warm, steady quiet of the room, weightless as a cloud, drifting wherever the gentle air decides to take you. Let your breath grow slow and easy with those drifting clouds. In, soft and quiet. Out, long and slow. There's nowhere you need to be. Let me tell you about the morning dew, because it's one of the most delicate, most patient things the night ever makes, all through the small dark hours, while the world is asleep and the air grows cool and still. Something quiet is happening out on every blade of grass, and every leaf, and every strand of spiderweb. The air cools down just enough, and the tiny bits of water floating unseen within it begin to gather ever so slowly into little round drops. Nobody sees it happen. There's no sound to it, no rush, just the patient, silent work of the night, laying down thousands upon thousands of tiny, perfect beads of water across the whole quiet world. And then, when morning comes and the first soft light touches them, every one of those little drops catches the sun and shines like a small, clear jewel scattered across the grass. A whole field of them, glittering in the early light, and all of it made in the dark while everything slept. The night is doing gentle, quiet work like that all around us, all the time. And so, in its own quiet way, is your body right now, resting, mending, settling, doing soft and patient work, while you simply let go and drift. Feel that softness spreading through you now, down through your chest, down into your belly, loosening as it goes. Let me tell you about the whales out in the deep and open ocean. because the songs they sing are some of the most peaceful sounds on the whole planet. Far out there, in that great blue quiet, whales call to one another across enormous stretches of water. And their voices, low and slow and rolling, can travel for hundreds of kilometers through the sea. Just imagine that. One gentle creature singing softly in the dark water, and another one so far away you couldn't see the distance if you tried. Hearing that song drift toward it through the deep. They sing in long, slow phrases, rising and falling, unhurried, patient, taking their time the way the whole ocean takes its time. And a single one of their songs can go on for many minutes before it circles back around and begins again, slow and steady, like a lullaby with no end. Whole pods of them, drifting through the dark blue together, calling and answering, keeping each other company across the wide and gentle sea. There's something so comforting in that. The idea of a soft voice traveling all that way through the quiet, just to say, I'm here, you're not alone. And you're not alone either, tonight. My voice is right here with you, drifting along gently, keeping you company as you sink down towards sleep. Let that low, slow whale song feeling settle into your bones now. Everything heavy, everything soft. Let me tell you about seeds, of all the small and hopeful things in the world. Because a seed knows something about patience that we could all stand to learn. A seed can lie in the cool, dark earth for a very long time, waiting, not worrying, not straining to grow before its moment, just resting quietly in the soil, holding everything it needs to become a whole tall plant tucked away safe inside its small round shell. And some seeds can wait like that for years. There are seeds that have waited, sleeping in the ground, for far longer than that, holding on to their quiet promise, until at last the warmth and the rain come around and gently wake them. And only then, when the time is truly right, do they begin, ever so slowly, to open and reach and grow. They don't rush it. They wait for the right moment, and then they unfold in their own good time. And that's a lovely thing to remember on a night like this. That rest is not the same as doing nothing. That sometimes the most important thing happening is the quiet waiting, the gentle gathering of strength in the warm dark, getting ready in your own soft time for whatever comes next. So let yourself rest that way now, like a seed in the good earth, holding everything you need, safe and warm, and in no hurry at all. Feel your whole body giving into the softness of the bed beneath you. Let it hold you completely. Let me tell you about the sloth, because there is no creature on this earth more devoted to the gentle art of slowing down. A sloth moves through the trees so slowly, so carefully, that it can take a full minute or more just to reach out and move from one branch to the next. It does everything at that same soft, dreamy pace. It eats slowly. It moves slowly. It even blinks slowly, gazing out at the green world through half-closed eyes, in no hurry whatsoever to be anywhere but exactly where it is. And it spends a great deal of its life simply resting, hanging peacefully in the leafy canopy, cradled by the branches, warm in the dappled shade. Everything about it is unhurried and calm. It has learned, in its own quiet way, that there's no prize for rushing, that the world will keep turning whether you race through it or drift through it gently. And tonight, you get to be a little bit like the sloth. Slow, soft, perfectly content to stay right where you are, doing nothing at all but resting, letting the minutes drift by as slow and easy as they like. There's nowhere to climb to tonight, nothing to reach for, just the warm branch of your bed, holding you, and the slow, gentle pull of sleep drawing you down. Let your eyelids grow heavy now, as heavy and slow as a sloth's. If they want to close, let them close. There's nothing left to see. Let me tell you about the tides, the way the whole vast ocean rises and falls, soft and steady, twice every single day. It's the moon that does it, drifting up there in the dark, pulling ever so gently at all that water. And the sea answers by lifting itself up toward the shore and then easing itself slowly back out again. In and out, rising and falling. It's been doing this quiet dance for longer than there have been eyes to watch it. And it will keep on long after tonight is over. There's something deeply soothing about standing at the edge of the water and just listening to it. That slow breathing sound, the waves rolling in soft and then sliding gently away, over and over, patient and endless and calm. The whole enormous ocean, breathing slow. And you can breathe along with it now if you like. Feel your own breath rising and falling in that same slow rhythm, drawing in like the tide sliding up the sand, easing out like the water slipping softly back to sea, in and out, rising and falling. Nothing to think about, just that gentle ancient rhythm carrying you along. Let me tell you about starlight, because a starry night sky holds one of the most gentle, most quieting thoughts there is. When you look up at a star, the soft little light that reaches your eyes has been traveling toward you for a very, very long time. It set out across the dark long before you were born, crossing an unimaginable stretch of quiet space, just to arrive, tonight, right at your eye, so when you gaze up at those far-off lights, you're really looking back in time, seeing them not as they are now, but as they were long, long ago. And there's something so peaceful about that. It makes all the small worries of a single day feel very light, very soft, very far away. The stars have been shining patiently through all of it, through every night that ever was, and they'll go on shining through every night to come, calm and steady and unbothered. You are a small, warm, resting thing beneath a very old and gentle sky, and the sky is glad to hold you. There's no worry up there, just soft old light drifting down through the dark, keeping you company while you sleep. Feel how small and safe that makes you feel, held under the wide old sky, wrapped up warm, with nothing at all to carry. Let me tell you about the desert at night, because most people only ever picture the desert in the hot, bright day, and they miss its softest hour. When the sun finally goes down over all that open sand, the whole world out there changes completely. The heat lifts away, and a cool, calm quiet settles over everything. The sand, which held the warmth of the day, gives it back slowly to the night air, so gently that if you laid your hand flat against it, you could feel it letting go of the last of the afternoon. And overhead, with no city lights for hundreds of kilometers in any direction, the stars come out thicker and brighter than almost anywhere else on Earth. So many of them you couldn't begin to count. The desert at night is one of the most silent, most peaceful places in all the world. Just the soft, cool air and the endless sand lying still, and that great glittering sky above it all. Everything resting, everything quiet. the whole wide land letting go of its heat and settling gently into the dark. The same way you're letting go now, settling down, sinking into the soft and welcome quiet of the night. Let that quiet fill the whole room now. Let it fill you. Let me tell you about the gentle glow that sometimes rises out of the sea itself. On certain warm, dark nights, in certain quiet coves, there are tiny living things that drift in the ocean water, so small you'd never see a single one. And when the water moves around them, they answer with a soft blue light of their own. So on the right kind of night, when a gentle wave rolls in and breaks along the shore, the whole edge of the water lights up with a cool, glowing, dreamy blue, shimmering there for just a moment before it fades away again into the dark. And every soft ripple, every slow lap of the tide against the sand, brings another quiet glimmer of that living light. People have stood at the edge of the sea on nights like that and watched it for hours, that gentle blue glow rising and fading with the breathing of the water, calm and silent and strange and lovely. Nature is full of these soft little lights, tucked away in the dark, asking for nothing, glowing quietly just because that's what they do. And so much of the beauty in this world is like that, waiting patiently in the quiet, ready for anyone gentle enough and still enough to notice it. So be still now, and soft and quiet. Let the gentle blue light of that dreaming sea wash slowly through your mind, rising and fading, carrying you deeper with every slow and easy breath. There's nothing left to do tonight but rest. The world is soft and dark and kind, and I'll keep going, gently, for as long as you need me to. Let me tell you about the fireflies and how they find each other in the dark, because it's one of the softest little conversations happening anywhere in the world tonight. On a warm summer evening, out past the edge of any town, whole fields fill up with those small floating lights, and each little blink is a kind of quiet hello. The fireflies aren't rushing. They aren't worried whether anyone's watching. They just drift up out of the tall grass as the sky goes dark, lighting themselves gently, over and over, patient as anything, waiting for another soft light to answer back. And when one does, they draw a little closer, blinking slow and easy, until the whole meadow is glowing with these tiny golden signals, rising and falling in the dark, like the field itself is breathing. There's no hurry in it at all, just soft light and soft dark, and all the time in the world to find one another. Picture that for a moment. A warm field at the very edge of night, the grass cool and still, and hundreds of gentle little lights lifting up slow around you, saying nothing, but here I am, over and over into the dark. Let that softness settle over you now, the same slow rhythm, the light rising and fading, and let your own breath find that easy pace along with it. Let me tell you about the way snow falls, because there's almost nothing on this earth quieter than the world under falling snow. When the air turns cold enough and the clouds hang low and heavy, the snow begins to come down, and each flake drifts so slowly, turning and tumbling on its own gentle path, taking its sweet time to reach the ground. And here's the loveliest part. Fresh fallen snow actually softens sound itself. All those tiny flakes pile up loose and airy, full of little pockets of space, and those spaces catch sound and hold it, so the whole world goes hushed and muffled and still. If you've ever stepped outside during a heavy snowfall, you'll know that feeling. that deep, cushioned silence, like someone laid a soft blanket over the entire landscape. The streets go quiet. The trees stand still with white along every branch, and everything seems to slow down and settle, as if the whole world agreed all at once to rest. That's what snow does. It comes down soft and slow, and it wraps the world in quiet, and it asks nothing of anyone but to be still and watch it fall. So let yourself be wrapped up in that same deep quiet now, that hushed and cushioned calm, every sound going soft and far away, the whole world settling gently into white and silent rest. Let me tell you about the mother whale and how she sleeps, because even the biggest creatures in the sea know how to rest gently. Out in the wide open ocean, when a whale needs to sleep, she doesn't lie down the way we do. She simply lets herself go still, drifting there in the water, sometimes hanging straight up and down, sometimes floating just beneath the surface, resting one half of her great mind at a time, so she never forgets to rise and breathe. And when she has a little calf beside her, the two of them will rest together, the small one tucked in close, both of them rising slowly to the surface for a soft breath and then sinking again, side by side, held up by the whole gentle weight of the sea. Imagine that. The largest heart that has ever beaten on this planet, slowing down in the dark blue water, resting easy, the little one nestled safe against her. No walls around them, no worry, just the warm, slow water holding them both, and the quiet of the deep, and the gentle rise and fall of their breathing in the dark. Even they know how to let go at the end of the day. Even they know how to rest. Feel yourself held that same way now, held up soft and safe by everything beneath you. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to keep afloat, just resting easy in the quiet dark. Let me tell you about the mushrooms that grow in the forest overnight, because they might be the most patient gardeners in all the world. All through the day, hidden underneath the soil and the fallen leaves, there's a whole soft web of tiny threads spreading slow and quiet through the ground, threading between the roots, drinking in the damp. You'd never know it was there, but on a cool, wet night, when the conditions are just right, those hidden threads gather themselves together and gently push up a little mushroom, unfolding it in the dark while the whole forest sleeps. And in the morning, there it stands, soft and round and new, as if it simply appeared out of the quiet overnight. Nobody watched it happen. Nobody had to help. It just took its time in the dark and the damp, doing its slow, gentle work while everything else was resting. There's something so calming in that, isn't there? The idea that good, soft things can grow in the quiet, all on their own, while we sleep. That the night isn't empty at all, but full of gentle, slow becoming, everywhere, all the time, patient as can be. Let that thought grow soft around you now. The quiet work of the night going on all by itself, needing nothing from you, asking nothing at all except that you rest. Let me tell you about the way a cat stretches and settles before it sleeps, because cats have turned resting into something close to an art. Watch a cat when it decides the day is done. It'll find the warmest, softest patch it can, a spot of sun on the floor, a folded blanket, the curve of a cushion, and it stretches, slow and long, reaching all the way out through every paw, every muscle pulling gentle and loose. Then it curls itself down, tucking its nose beneath its tail, settling and shifting, and settling again until every single part of it is comfortable. And then it just lets go, completely, sinking into sleep so deep and easy that its whole body goes soft and heavy and warm. A cat doesn't worry about the day it had or the day to come. When it's time to rest, it rests fully, without holding anything back. There's a kind of wisdom in that, a trust that the moment is safe and the warmth is enough and nothing more needs doing right now. And you can borrow a little of that wisdom tonight. You can stretch out long and loose, just once, reaching gently through your arms and legs, and then let every part of you settle down heavy and warm, giving in to the softness the same easy way a cat does. So let yourself sink down now, fully, the way a sleeping cat sinks into the sun, every muscle loose, every worry set aside, nothing left but warmth and weight and rest. Let me tell you about the redwood forests and the fog that feeds them, because it's one of the gentlest partnerships in all of nature. Those enormous ancient trees grow tall along the coast, taller than almost anything else alive. And they're so high that the rain alone can't reach all the way up to their topmost branches. So instead, they drink from the fog. On cool, quiet mornings, the soft gray mist rolls in off the sea and drifts up through the forest. And the trees comb it gently from the air with their needles, gathering the tiny droplets, letting them run down slow along the bark to the roots below. The whole forest just breathes that fog in, patient and still, drinking the softness right out of the air. And down on the forest floor, in that hushed gray light, everything is damp and cool and quiet. The ground soft with fallen needles, the great trunks rising up into the mist like the gentlest giants you could imagine, standing silent, holding the fog, having done this same slow, quiet thing every morning for longer than we can even picture. There's such peace in that, such a soft, unhurried, ancient calm. Let that cool gray calm drift through you now, soft as the fog itself, settling into every quiet corner of you, leaving you damp and heavy and still. Let me tell you about the way rain sounds on a roof at night, because it might be the oldest lullaby there is. When the rain comes soft and steady after dark, and you're tucked up warm and dry inside, there's a certain kind of peace that settles over everything. The gentle patter on the roof, the soft rush of it through the gutters, the quiet drip from the eaves, all of it blending into one steady, soothing sound that has no beginning and no end. It asks nothing of you. It just goes on, soft and constant, filling the dark with its easy rhythm. And there's a reason that sound feels so safe. For as long as there have been people, rain at night has meant the growing was being taken care of. The rivers were being filled. The world was being washed clean and soft. And all you had to do was stay warm and dry and listen. So the sound of rain still reaches something deep and old in us, something that hears it and simply lets go, knowing everything out there is being looked after, and there's nothing left to do but rest. Let that steady, soft rain fall through your mind now, gentle and endless, washing every thought smooth and quiet, carrying you deeper down towards sleep with each easy drop. And before we drift on a little further into the night together, let me ask you something soft and simple, just to keep you gentle company here in the quiet. Somewhere out there is a corner of the natural world that soothes you most of all, and I'd love to know what it is for you. Maybe it's the sound of rain on the window, or the hush of a forest, or waves folding slow along a shore somewhere. Whatever it is that calms your heart at the end of a long day, whisper it down into the comments before you drift all the way off, so that anyone else lying awake tonight, looking for a little piece of their own, might read it and feel that same soft calm settle over them too. Little kindnesses like that ripple out further than you'd ever guess. And if these gentle facts and quiet stories are helping you unwind, you might follow along, so there's always something soft and slow waiting here for you the next time the night feels long. But for now, there's nothing you need to do at all. Just let your eyes stay closed and your breath stay slow, and let me keep going, gently, for as long as you need me to, while the whole soft world settles down into rest around you. Let me tell you about the mountains, because for all their size, for all that stone and height and weight, they are some of the slowest, gentlest travelers of all. It doesn't look that way, of course. A mountain seems like the very picture of something that never moves, something fixed and permanent and utterly still. But the truth is softer and stranger than that. Every mountain you've ever seen is rising, ever so slightly, pushed up by the slow, deep breathing of the earth beneath it, lifting by just a whisper each year, no faster than your fingernails grow. And at the very same time, the wind and the rain and the frost are wearing it back down again, grain by tiny grain, so patiently that a single mountain might take millions upon millions of years to soften from a sharp young peak into a low, round, gentle hill. There's no hurry in any of it. The mountain doesn't strain to rise, and it doesn't fight to stay. It simply lets the earth lift it and lets the weather smooth it, giving itself over completely to a rhythm so slow that a whole human life passes by in what is, to the mountain, less than a single quiet breath. Imagine that kind of patience. Imagine having all the time in the world and never once needing to rush any part of it. Let that slow mountain stillness settle down into you now, heavy and calm and utterly unhurried, softening every sharp edge inside you the way the years soften stone. Let me tell you about the owl and the way it flies through the dark without making a single sound. Most birds, when they fly, make a soft rush of noise, the beat of wings pushing against the air, but the owl moves through the night like a shadow, silent as the darkness itself. And it's all thanks to the softest feathers you could imagine. The edges of an owl's wings are fringed and feathered in a special gentle way, combing the air apart so smoothly that it never gets the chance to rush or whisper. So the owl drifts over the sleeping fields and the quiet woods without a sound, gliding through the dark on wings made of hush, part of the silence rather than something breaking it. And there's something so peaceful in that thought, isn't there? A creature so perfectly at home in the quiet that it has become quiet itself, moving through the softest hours of the night without disturbing a single sleeping thing below. The mice go on dreaming, the trees go on standing still, and the owl passes overhead like a slow, soft thought, there and then gone, leaving the night exactly as calm as it found it. Let yourself be that calm now, that undisturbed, the quiet moving all around you and through you, nothing breaking it, nothing rushing it, just soft silence carrying you gently down. Let me tell you about a mountain stream and the sound it makes as it tumbles over the stones. High up in the hills, where the water first begins its long, slow journey down toward the sea. It runs clear and cold over smooth, round rocks, chattering and murmuring in that endless, gentle way that streams have. And if you sit beside one for a while and really listen, you'll notice it never repeats itself. Not exactly. There's a steady, soothing background to it, that soft, constant rush. But woven through it are little turns and gurgles and trickles that come and go, never quite the same twice. Like the stream is telling itself a long, quiet story that has no ending and needs no listener. Those smooth, round stones it runs over were sharp and rough once, long ago, but the water has been passing over them so gently for so very long that every hard edge has been worn away to softness. It didn't take force to do that. It didn't take any effort at all. Just water, moving where water moves, patient and constant, smoothing the world a little more with every drop that passes, and the sound of it goes on through the night, whether anyone hears it or not, soft and cool and endless. A lullaby the mountains have been singing to themselves since long before there was anyone around to fall asleep to it. Let that cool, clear water sound run softly through your mind now, smoothing every rough and worried edge, carrying your thoughts away downstream one by one until there's nothing left but the gentle rush and the quiet. Let me tell you about the flowers that close their petals when the night comes, because they know how to rest just as surely as you do. All through the bright part of the day, they stand open to the sun, drinking in the warmth and the light, their petals spread wide to the world. But as the evening softens and the light goes golden and low, something in them begins to change, slowly, gently, without any fuss at all. They draw their petals back in, folding themselves closed for the night, tucking their soft, bright colors away into the dark, like someone pulling a blanket up to their chin. The poppies do it, and the daisies, and the little pink and white flowers that open along the hedgerows. They've been keeping this rhythm for so long that it lives right inside them now. This quiet, knowing that when the light goes, it's time to close up and rest. And that when the morning comes again, warm and golden, they'll open right back up, unhurried, to meet it. There's no worry in the closing, no fear that the sun won't return, just a soft and certain trust that the day will come around again in its own good time, and that the only thing to do in the meantime is fold up gently and wait out the dark in peace. Let yourself fold up that same way now, soft and unworried, tucking every last thought away into the quiet, trusting completely that the morning will come around again, all on its own, with nothing at all required from you but rest. Let me tell you about the way birds sleep, because it's one of the tenderest little things happening all across the world tonight. When the light fades and the day's singing is done, the small birds go looking for a safe place to settle, a sheltered branch deep in a hedge, a quiet nook out of the wind. And then they do the sweetest thing. They fluff themselves up into soft, round balls of feathers, twice their daytime size, trapping the warmth close against their bodies. And they turn their little heads right around and tuck their beaks down into the feathers of their backs, hiding their faces away in their own softness. Their feet lock gently onto the branch all by themselves, holding on without any effort at all, so that even fast asleep, they can't fall. And there they stay through the whole long night, tiny warm bundles swaying ever so slightly in the dark, perfectly safe, perfectly still, dreaming whatever it is that small birds dream. Thousands upon thousands of them, all across the countryside, all across the world, tucked up in the branches and the eaves and the hollows, riding out the darkness in warm feathered peace until the first gray light of morning coaxes them softly awake again. Let yourself be tucked up just like that now, warm and round and safe, your face buried soft in the pillow, holding on to nothing, needing to hold on to nothing, held perfectly steady by everything beneath you while the long dark night passes gently by. Let me tell you about the great forests of kelp that sway beneath the surface of the cold green sea. Because there are whole quiet worlds down there that rock all night long like a cradle. Along certain cool rocky coastlines, the kelp grows up in tall golden brown ribbons from the seafloor, reaching up and up toward the light far above. Some of it as tall as the tallest trees on land. And down among those swaying golden stalks, the water is dim and green and endlessly gentle, moving with the slow pulse of the ocean, so that the whole forest leans one way and then leans slowly back, over and over, rocking softly with every passing swell. Little fish drift through it in no hurry at all, and small creatures nestle down into the fronds to rest, and the light comes filtering down from above in soft shifting beams that sway right along with everything else. There's no stillness down there, not exactly, but there's something even better than stillness. There's a rocking, a slow, steady, endless rocking, the whole green world swaying together as one, calm and unhurried, cradled by the sea itself. It's been rocking that way for longer than we can imagine, and it'll go on rocking long after tonight, soft and slow and green in the deep. Let that slow ocean rocking move through you now, swaying you ever so gently one way and then softly back again. That easy, endless motion loosening you, soothing you, rocking you down and down toward sleep. Let me tell you about the northern lights, because for all that people travel across the whole world to see them, there's something deeply calming in what they really are. On cold, clear nights, far up toward the top of the world, the dark sky sometimes begins to glow and ripple with great soft curtains of green and violet light, drifting and folding and shimmering high overhead in complete and utter silence. And what you're seeing when you watch that slow, silent dance is really just the sun's gentlest touch, reaching all the way across the emptiness of space to brush against the very top of our air, so far away and so soft that it turns into nothing but light and color, spilling quietly across the night. The whole sky seems to breathe with it, brightening and fading, swelling and softening, in no rhythm you could ever name, just a slow and endless drifting that asks for nothing and means nothing except its own quiet beauty. People stand beneath it and go completely silent, and that silence feels exactly right, because there's a peace up there that words would only get in the way of. It simply glows and shifts and fades, patient and unhurried, painting the dark for anyone lucky enough to be looking, and then softening away again into the plain, deep quiet of the northern night. Let those soft, slow curtains of light drift now through the dark behind your eyes, glowing and fading, folding and softening, pulling your last quiet thoughts up and away into the silence, leaving you calm and empty and ready to rest. Let me tell you about the hummingbird, of all the tiny racing creatures in the world, because even it knows how to let go completely when the night comes down. All through the day, A hummingbird lives at a pace that would exhaust just about anything else alive. Its heart racing, its little wings beating so fast they blur into a soft hum, darting from flower to flower without a moment's pause. You'd think a creature like that could never truly rest, but when the cold dark of night settles in, the hummingbird does something wonderful. It finds a safe, quiet twig, and it lets almost everything slow right down, its racing heart easing to a fraction of its daytime speed, its whole tiny body cooling and stilling, sinking into a deep and heavy rest so complete that it's very nearly sleep and dreaming rolled into one. All that daytime hurry just drains away, and the smallest, fastest little heart in the world grows slow and calm and peaceful in the dark. Even the busiest creature there is, the one that never seems to stop, knows how to give itself over completely to the night, letting go of all that speed and all that motion, trading it for the deep, sweet stillness of real rest. Let yourself follow that tiny heart down now, slowing, cooling, softening, letting every last bit of the day's hurry drain quietly away, sinking into a rest so deep and so complete that there's simply nothing left to do but stay and breathe and drift. Let me tell you about the way a spider spins its web in the cool of the evening. Because for all the fuss people make about spiders, the making of a web is one of the softest, most patient bits of craft happening anywhere in the world tonight. When the light starts to fade and the air goes still, the little spider comes out to the quiet corner it has chosen, and it begins, thread by thread by thread, drawing out a silk so fine you could hardly see it in the daylight, so delicate that a single drop of dew can weigh a whole strand down. It works without any hurry at all, laying one careful line and then another, turning slow circles in the growing dark, feeling its way along in complete and utter patience. And if a breeze comes along and undoes a bit of the work, the spider simply starts that part again, calm and untroubled, as though it had all the time in the whole wide world. And by the time the morning comes, there it is, a perfect round web strung between two branches, glittering with dew, so soft and so fine that it looks less like a thing that was built and more like something the night just breathed into being all on its own. There's no rush in it, no worry, just the quiet, steady making of something beautiful in the dark, one small, patient thread at a time. Let that slow, patient making settle over you now, the sense of something gentle taking shape in the quiet while you rest, needing nothing from you, asking nothing at all, just the soft, unhurried work of the night, going on all around you as you drift. Let me tell you about the way a lake goes still at the very end of the day, because there's almost nothing on this earth that holds a calm quite like still water at dusk. All through the daylight hours, the surface of a lake is busy and alive, ruffled by the wind, broken up by ripples and little waves, catching and scattering the light in 1,000 restless flashes. But when the evening comes and the wind lies down for the night, something wonderful happens. The whole surface goes smooth, smoother and smoother, until it lies there flat and perfect as a sheet of dark glass, so still and so calm that it holds the whole sky inside it. The mountains stand there upside down in the water, and the last soft colors of the sunset, and the first faint stars, all of it held perfectly still in that quiet mirror, without a single ripple to trouble it. A lake at dusk becomes so calm that you truly can't tell anymore where the real world ends and the reflected one begins. Two whole skies meeting at one soft, silent line, each one as peaceful as the other. And it costs the lake nothing at all to hold that stillness. It simply lets the wind go, lets the day go, and settles into that deep, flat calm all on its own. The way a body settles into rest when there's finally nothing left to do. Let yourself go smooth and still like that now. Every little ripple in you settling and easing away. Your whole self growing calm and flat and quiet as a lake at dusk. Holding the peace of the evening softly inside you as you sink down towards sleep. Let me tell you about the humble earthworm, of all the quiet creatures under the ground. Because while the whole world sleeps up above, the worms are down there doing the gentlest, most useful work there is. All through the dark hours, deep in the cool, damp soil, they move slowly along, easing their soft bodies through the earth, loosening it, turning it, letting the air and the water down into it, so that everything that grows up top can grow a little easier for their trouble. They never rush, and they never rest for long, and they ask for nothing in return. No thanks, and no notice. Just moving quietly through the dark, making the ground soft and rich and ready. Every good garden and every green field and every tall old tree owes a quiet debt to those slow, soft creatures working away unseen beneath our feet, turning the earth over so patiently, night after night after night, that the whole living world above them is fed and held up by it. There's something deeply soothing in that, if you think about it. The idea that even now, while you lie here in the warm dark, the good, gentle work of the world is going on all by itself, deep down in the quiet, needing nothing from you at all. Let that thought settle heavy and warm over you now. The sense of the whole world being quietly cared for while you rest. Everything held and tended in the dark. Nothing at all left for you to do, but sink a little deeper and let the night carry you along. Let me tell you about the way a deer lies down to rest in the tall grass at the edge of the woods. Because for all that a deer spends its days alert and watchful, it knows how to soften completely when the safe dark comes. In the quiet of the evening, a deer will find a sheltered hollow, a soft, warm place tucked in among the ferns and the long grass where the ground still holds a little of the day's warmth. And it will fold those long, slender legs beneath itself and settle right down into the earth. Its ears go soft, its great dark eyes grow heavy and slow, its breathing eases and deepens, and that whole light, nervous body that spends the daylight ready to leap and run just melts down quietly into the grass, warm and still and safe. The little ones curl up close beside their mothers, tucked in against that gentle warmth, and the whole small family lies there together in the hush of the night, hidden and held by the tall grass all around them, resting soft and easy in the dark. Even a creature born to be watchful, born to startle and run, knows there comes a time to let all that watching go, to trust the night and the shelter and the warm earth beneath, and to give itself over completely to rest. Let yourself fold down into your own soft, warm place now. Just like that, every watchful part of you easing and quieting, your body settling deep into the warmth beneath you, safe and hidden and held, with nothing at all left to watch for and nothing left to do but rest. Let me tell you about the way the sand lies along a quiet beach in the cool of the night. Because a beach after dark is one of the most peaceful places there is on the whole face of the earth. All through the hot, bright day, a beach is a busy, dazzling thing. The sand blazing pale under the sun, the light bouncing hard off the water. Everything loud and bright and full of movement. But when the sun goes down and the crowds go home and the heat drains out of the day, the beach becomes something else entirely, something soft and dark and endlessly calm. The sand cools underfoot and goes gentle and gray in the starlight, still holding just a little of the day's warmth deep down inside it. And the great dark ocean rolls in slow and easy along the shore, one long soft wave after another, hushing and sighing against the sand in a rhythm as old as the world itself. There's no hurry anywhere in it, just that endless gentle folding of water onto sand, over and over, soft and patient and calm. The same slow sound that has soothed every living thing along every shore since long before there was anyone at all to hear it. And the cool night air moves so lightly over it, and the stars hang so quiet overhead, that the whole beach seems to be breathing slowly in its sleep. Let that slow, soft rhythm of the waves move through you now, hushing and sighing, rolling in and easing back, one gentle wave after another, washing your thoughts smooth and quiet, carrying you further and further down towards sleep with every long, easy breath. Let me tell you about the way a bat comes home to rest at the first gray light of morning. Because for all that people think of bats as creatures of restless, flitting darkness, the way they settle down to sleep is one of the most peaceful things there is. All through the night, a bat is out over the fields and the water, wheeling and turning through the dark on those soft leathery wings, catching moths on the wing, threading between the trees without ever once touching a leaf. But when the night begins to fade and the first pale light comes creeping up over the edge of the world, the bat turns for home, back to some quiet, sheltered place, a hollow tree or a cool, dark cave, and it folds those wide wings gently in around itself like a soft, dark cloak. Then it hangs there, upside down and perfectly at ease, wrapped up snug in its own wings, its little body growing still and warm, and it lets the whole busy night just drop away. Whole crowds of them hang there together in the cool, quiet dark, wrapped and folded and still, sleeping soundly all through the bright, loud hours of the day, while the world outside goes about its business without them. There's a lovely, deep calm in it, the way they wrap themselves up so completely and let go of everything, held safe in the dark by nothing more than their own gentle grip and each other's warmth. Let yourself be wrapped up warm and safe like that now, folded snug into the soft dark, every part of you gathered in and held close and still, the busy day dropping away behind you, leaving you hanging soft and easy in the quiet, with nothing at all to do but rest. Let me tell you about the way the frost forms on a window pane on a cold, still night, because it's one of the most delicate, most patient bits of beauty the winter ever makes. When the night turns cold and the air goes still and everyone indoors is fast asleep, something quiet begins to happen on the glass. The tiny bit of moisture in the air, so fine you could never see it, begins to gather ever so slowly against the cold surface and freezes there, one tiny crystal at a time, branching and spreading and reaching out across the glass in the most intricate feathery patterns, ferns and fronds and delicate silver stars, all of it growing so slowly and so silently through the long cold hours that no eye could ever catch it moving. And by the time the morning comes, there it is, the whole window pane covered over in the finest lacework you ever saw, every line of it grown in perfect patience through the dark. A whole garden of silver frost that nobody built and nobody watched. Just the cold and the quiet and the still night air making something beautiful all on their own. And when the sun climbs up and warms the glass, it will melt softly away again without a trace. And the frost doesn't mind that at all, because the making of it was never about lasting, only about the quiet, patient growing of it through the peaceful dark. Let that quiet, patient beauty settle over you now. The sense of something delicate and lovely forming all on its own in the still, cold dark, needing nothing from you, asking nothing at all. Just the soft, silent work of the night going on and on, while you drift gently down towards sleep. Let me tell you about the way the tall grasses of a meadow move together in a soft night wind. Because there are few things gentler in all the world than a whole field of grass swaying slowly in the dark. When the evening comes down over an open meadow and a light breeze moves across it, the grass begins to bend and sway, not in any hurry, not all at once, but in long soft waves that roll slowly across the whole field, the way water moves across a pond, each blade leaning and rising and leaning again, in a slow, endless rhythm. And in the dark, you can hear it too. That soft, dry whisper of 1,000 blades brushing gently against one another. A sound so quiet and so even that it's almost like the whole meadow breathing slowly in its sleep. The grass never fights the wind and never holds itself stiff against it. It simply bends whichever way the breeze wants to send it, soft and easy and yielding, rising up again all on its own the moment the wind passes by. There's a deep, quiet wisdom in that, in the way the grass gives itself over so completely to the wind, bending without breaking, moving without worry, at ease in the dark, no matter which way the night blows. Let yourself bend and sway that gently now, soft and yielding and easy, letting every last bit of stiffness go out of you, moving with the quiet rhythm of your own slow breath, the way the grass moves with the wind, soft and unresisting, drifting deeper and deeper down into the peaceful dark. Let me tell you about the heron, the tall gray bird that stands at the edge of the water, because there is no creature anywhere that has mastered the art of standing still, quite the way a heron has. When the evening comes down over a quiet pond or a slow river's edge, the heron wades out on its long, thin legs into the shallow water, and then it simply stops. It stands there in the soft dark, one leg folded up beneath it sometimes, its long neck curved in against its body, and it holds itself so perfectly still that you would swear it had turned to stone. The water goes flat and calm around its legs, the ripples fading away until there's nothing but glass, and the heron doesn't move at all, doesn't fidget, doesn't shift its weight, just waits with a patience so deep and so complete that the whole pond seems to settle down around it. It can hold that stillness for the longest time, longer than you or I could ever manage, waiting without any impatience at all, without any restlessness, perfectly content simply to be where it is and to wait for whatever the quiet water brings. And there's something wonderfully soothing in that, in the sight of a creature so tall and so graceful, choosing stillness over movement, choosing to wait rather than to chase, standing there in the gathering dark as calm and unbothered as the reeds around it. The heron knows that the best things come to the one who stays quiet and waits, and so it gives itself over completely to the stillness, letting the evening deepen around it, letting the first stars come out overhead, asking nothing of the moment except to stand softly within it. Let yourself grow that still now, that quiet and unhurried, every part of you settling and softening the way the water settles around the heron's legs, all the little ripples of the day smoothing away one by one until there's nothing left in you but a deep and easy calm. Let me tell you about the way the leaves let go in the autumn, because there are few things gentler or more graceful than a single leaf drifting down from a tall tree on a still autumn day. All through the warm months, the leaves hold on tight, green and busy and full of life, working away quietly in the sunlight. But when the days grow shorter and the air turns cool, the tree begins, ever so slowly, to prepare itself for rest. And here's the loveliest part of it. The tree doesn't tear its leaves away, doesn't drop them in any hurry or any struggle. Instead, right where each leaf joins the branch, the tree grows a soft little seam, a gentle line of cells that loosens the hold bit by bit, so quietly and so patiently that the leaf never feels a thing. And then one calm, still morning, when the time is exactly right, the leaf simply lets go. It releases its hold on the branch that held it all summer long, and it drifts down through the cool air, turning slowly, floating this way and that, taking its own sweet time to reach the ground. There's no fear in it, no clinging, no struggle at all, just a soft and graceful letting go, a slow spiraling drift down through the golden light to rest at last upon the soft earth below. The tree lets go of thousands of leaves that way, one after another, each of them falling in its own good time. And it does this every single year, releasing everything it grew, trusting completely that when the spring comes back around, it will grow it all again. Isn't that a beautiful thing to think about as you lie there in the dark? The way a tree knows exactly when to hold on and exactly when to let go, and how it releases everything so gently, so willingly, with such perfect and untroubled peace. Let yourself let go that same way now, softly and without any struggle, releasing your hold on the whole long day, the way the tree releases its leaves, letting every last thought drift down slow and easy and settle quietly on the ground below. Nothing to cling to, nothing to keep, just a soft and graceful letting go into the peaceful dark. Let me tell you about the way a glacier moves, because for all that it seems like the most solid and unmoving thing in the whole world, a glacier is actually on the slowest, most patient journey there is, far up in the high cold places of the world, in the mountains where the snow never fully melts away. The snow gathers year after year after year, layer upon layer of it, pressing down on the layers beneath until, over a very long time, all that soft white snow is squeezed into deep blue ice, thick and heavy and old beyond imagining. And then, so slowly that no eye could ever see it happen, the whole vast mass of ice begins to move. Pulled ever so gently by its own great weight, the glacier begins to flow downhill, not rushing, not tumbling, but creeping forward at the pace of just a few soft inches in a whole day, sometimes less, moving so slowly and so silently that it seems for all the world to be standing perfectly still. And yet it never stops. Through the long dark winters and the short cool summers, through year after year and lifetime after lifetime, the ice keeps flowing gently down the mountain, carving out the valleys as it goes, smoothing the stone beneath it, shaping whole landscapes with a patience so vast It's almost beyond our understanding. Some of the ice in the deepest glaciers fell as snow thousands upon thousands of years ago, and it has been traveling ever so slowly downhill ever since, in no hurry at all, needing no destination, simply moving because that is what the ice does, softly and steadily through all the long ages of the world. There's such a deep calm in that, in the thought of something so enormous moving so gently and so patiently, taking all the time in the world, never rushing toward anything, just flowing quietly along at its own unhurried pace. Let that slow, ancient patience settle into you now, heavy and cool and utterly unhurried. Every part of you slowing to that same gentle pace. No need to rush toward anything at all, just drifting softly and steadily downward into the quiet like ice flowing slow down an old cold mountain. Let me tell you about lichen, of all the humble quiet things that grow on the world, because lichen is one of the gentlest and most patient partnerships in all of nature. You've seen it 1,000 times without ever really stopping to look. That soft crust of pale green or gray or dusty gold that grows across old stones and tree bark and the tops of quiet garden walls. And here's the lovely secret of it. Lichen isn't really one thing at all. It's two. A tiny fungus and a tiny green algae living so closely and so peacefully together that they've become a single soft patch of life. The fungus gives shelter, holding on tight to the stone, gathering in the moisture from the morning air, and the algae gives food, catching the gentle sunlight and turning it into something they can both live on. Neither one could manage alone in such a bare and difficult place, but together, in that quiet partnership, they thrive on nothing more than damp air and soft light and time. And oh, the time they take. Lichen grows more slowly than almost anything else alive, sometimes no more than a soft hair's breadth across in a whole year, spreading out so gently and so patiently across the stone that some of the old patches you might pass on an ancient wall have been growing quietly there for hundreds upon hundreds of years. Older than the oldest person alive, older than the wall's builders and their children, and their children's children too. It asks for nothing, hurries toward nothing, just spreads its soft, slow circle wider by the tiniest measure each passing year, content to grow in the quiet corners of the world where nothing else will bother it, keeping its gentle, patient company with the stone. Let that soft, slow patience settle over you now, the sense of something gentle growing quietly and needing nothing at all. No hurry in it, no worry, just the easy passing of the peaceful hours. And let yourself grow that unhurried and that calm as you drift softly down toward sleep. Let me tell you about the way a butterfly folds itself up to rest when the evening comes. Because for all that we picture butterflies dancing bright and busy through the sunny air, they too know how to grow still and quiet when the light fades. Through the warm hours of the day, the butterfly flits from flower to flower, its wings opening and closing in the sunshine, soft flashes of color moving through the garden. But a butterfly loves the warmth and the light. And when the sun begins to sink and the air starts to cool, it knows the time has come to find a place to rest. So it seeks out a quiet, sheltered spot, tucked away beneath a broad leaf perhaps, or along the stem of a tall grass, somewhere hidden and safe out of the wind. And there it settles, and it does the softest thing. It draws its bright wings up and folds them gently closed above its back, pressing them together so that all the color disappears and only the pale, quiet underside shows, dull and dim and easy to overlook. Folded up like that, perfectly still against its leaf, the butterfly all but vanishes into the evening, just another soft shape among the shadows. And there it stays, holding on with its tiny feet, wings closed, utterly still, all through the long, cool night. It doesn't stir, doesn't flutter, doesn't move at all until the morning sun climbs back up and warms its folded wings and stirs it gently back to life. And there's such a soft, simple wisdom in that, in the way the butterfly knows to fold away all its brightness when the day is done, to grow still and quiet and hidden, to rest completely through the dark and trust that the warmth will come again to wake it. Let yourself fold away like that now, drawing everything quietly in, all your busyness and all your color settling softly closed, growing still and hidden and calm in your own safe, sheltered place, holding on to nothing, waiting for nothing, just resting easy through the dark, the way the butterfly rests upon its leaf. Let me tell you about the way water rises up through a tree, because it's one of the quietest, most patient miracles happening in the world around us. And it goes on all night long without a sound. Think of a tall tree, one of those great old ones with its roots sunk deep into the cool, damp earth, and its topmost leaves reaching high up toward the sky. All through that tree, from the deepest root to the highest leaf, water is moving, drawn up slowly and steadily from the soil far below, climbing up through the trunk and out along every branch and twig to feed each single leaf. And the wonderful thing is that the tree does this without any pump, without any effort we could ever see, without making the faintest sound. The water moves up through the finest little channels inside the wood, thinner than the thinnest thread, drawn upward drop by drop in one long unbroken thread of moisture that reaches all the way from the ground to the crown. On a quiet night, when the air is cool and still, the tree simply holds that water gently within itself, resting, and by the day, it draws it slowly up again. Some of the tallest trees lift that water higher than the tallest towers people build, more than 100 meters straight up into the air. And they do it silently, patiently, without any hurry or any strain. Just the soft, steady rising of water through the wood, going on and on through every quiet hour. And to stand beneath such a tree in the dark, knowing all that gentle, silent work is happening inside it, is one of the most peaceful things there is. A whole great living thing at rest, and yet quietly at work, calm and steady and utterly untroubled through the long night. Let that soft, steady quiet fill you now, the sense of everything working gently and silently as it should. Nothing forced and nothing hurried, just the calm, unbroken rhythm of the night carrying on all around you. And let yourself rise and fall with your own slow breath as you drift deeper down toward sleep. Let me tell you about the way a stone shapes itself deep inside a cave. Because far below the hills and the fields, down where no sunlight ever reaches, there's a kind of slow and silent building going on that has been happening for longer than we can really hold in our minds. Picture a great hollow room of rock, deep underground, cool and dark and utterly quiet. And hanging from the ceiling of that room, a long, slender finger of stone, reaching down toward the floor. That's a stalactite, and it was made one single drop of water at a time. Water seeps down through the earth above, ever so slowly, carrying with it the tiniest trace of dissolved stone. And when a drop gathers at the tip of that stone finger, and hangs there and finally falls. It leaves behind the faintest whisper of mineral, thinner than a hair. And then another drop comes and leaves another whisper, and then another and another, each one adding almost nothing at all. It takes 100 years, sometimes, for one of these stone fingers to grow just a single centimeter longer, no more than the width of your fingernail. And rising up from the floor to meet it, drop by patient drop, a matching column climbs slowly upward, until after thousands upon thousands of quiet years, the two of them finally touch and join into one smooth pillar of stone, holding up the roof of the dark like something in a sleeping cathedral. There's no rush in it, none at all, just water and stone and time, working together in the deep silence with all the patience in the world. And to think of that going on right now, far beneath the ground, a thing of such slow beauty, forming grain by grain in the dark while the world above sleeps, is one of the most peaceful thoughts there is. Let that deep, slow patience settle into you now. The sense of something lovely taking shape all on its own in the quiet dark, needing nothing, hurrying toward nothing, and let your own breath grow just as slow and easy as the falling of a single drop. Let me tell you about the jellyfish, of all the drifting creatures in the sea, because there may be no living thing on earth that has given itself over so completely to simply going where the water goes. A jellyfish has no bones and no shell, no hard edges anywhere at all, just a soft translucent bell and a trail of gentle trailing threads. And it spends its whole life adrift in the wide open water, rising and falling with the currents, carried this way and that by the slow breathing of the sea. It doesn't fight the water. It doesn't struggle against the tide or try to hold its place or race off toward anywhere in particular. It just opens and closes that soft bell in a slow, easy pulse, the gentlest motion you could imagine, and lets the ocean do the rest. Some of these creatures have been drifting in the seas for more than 500 million years, long before there were trees on the land, long before there were flowers or birds or any of the rest of it, just softly pulsing through the dark, warm water, the same way they still do tonight. And when you watch one move, lit up faint and pale in the deep, there's a kind of dreamlike calm to it, this soft, slow opening and closing, this endless, gentle drifting with no destination and no hurry, perfectly at ease in the great, wide water that holds it up on every side. It asks for nothing. It reaches for nothing. It simply lets itself be carried, trusting the sea to hold it the way it always has. Let yourself be carried like that now, held up soft on every side, giving up all your reaching and all your holding on. Letting the slow, easy current of the night move you gently along, opening and closing with each quiet breath, drifting wherever the softness wants to take you. Let me tell you about the pine cone, of all the small, quiet things that hang in the branches of a tree, because a pine cone knows how to open and close all on its own, slowly and gently, reading the weather the way you might read the mood of a quiet room. If you've ever picked one up, you'll know they can be tight shut and hard, or open wide with all their little woody scales spread apart like the petals of some rough brown flower. And here's the lovely thing about it. The pine cone opens and closes, not because anything living is happening inside it, but simply in answer to the air around it. When the day is warm and dry, the scales curl slowly open, spreading themselves wide so the seeds tucked deep inside can catch the breeze and float away to find new ground. And when the air turns cool and damp, when the mist rolls in or the rain begins to fall, those same scales draw slowly closed again, folding themselves back up tight and snug to keep the seeds safe and dry until better weather comes. It does this all by itself, over hours and hours. No rush at all. Just the slow, quiet opening and folding of a thing that knows exactly when to hold on and when to let go. And a pine cone can go on doing this long after it has fallen from the tree, opening in the warmth and closing in the wet, a small patient thing, keeping its own gentle rhythm with the world for years and years. Let yourself keep that same easy rhythm now, opening softly when the calm comes over you, folding gently inward as the quiet deepens. No effort in it anywhere, just the slow, natural closing of a thing settling down to rest exactly when it's time. Let me tell you about the way a pond falls quiet under a sheet of winter ice, because there's something deeply reassuring in what happens down beneath that frozen lid. When the cold comes hard and the surface of a pond begins to freeze, the ice forms first across the very top, a thin, clear skin that slowly thickens into a smooth, solid roof. And you might think the cold would sink all the way down and turn the whole pond hard and lifeless from top to bottom. But water is a curious and kindly thing. And it happens that the very coldest water, the water just about to freeze, is actually a little lighter than the rest. So it rises up and freezes at the surface and stays there, while below it, the water settles into gentle layers, growing just a touch warmer the deeper down you go. And so beneath that frozen roof, the pond stays liquid all winter long, dim and still and softly cold, but never freezing solid. And there in that quiet underwater world, the fish drift slowly near the bottom, barely moving, their hearts slowed almost to stillness, and the frogs settle down into the soft mud and wait, and the whole small world of the pond simply holds its breath and rests until the spring. The ice above is not a death at all. It's a blanket, a still cold roof that keeps the deep water safe and the sleeping creatures sheltered all through the long dark months, holding everything gently until the warmth comes back around to melt it. Let that thought settle warm over you now, even in all that cold. The sense of a safe, still world resting quietly beneath a sheltering roof. Everything held and kept and waiting. Nothing needing to move, nothing needing to wake. Just the deep calm of a place that knows how to wait out the dark. Let me tell you about the octopus, of all the strange and clever creatures in the sea. Because for all its quick mind and all its restless changing, when the time comes to rest, it settles as softly and completely as anything down there in the deep. All through its waking hours, an octopus is a marvel of motion, flowing over the rocks, slipping into the narrowest cracks, its skin rippling through colors faster than you could name them. Now the mottled gray of stone, now the soft brown of sand, now a pale shimmer to match the light. But when the octopus grows tired, it finds itself a quiet den among the rocks, some snug little hollow just its size, and it tucks its soft body down inside and draws its long arms in close around itself, curling up small and safe in the dark. And then a wonderful thing happens across its skin. Even as it sleeps, the colors keep drifting slowly over it, soft washes of pale and dark, moving gently across its resting body, rising and fading, changing and settling, as though even in its dreams, it were still quietly turning something over, still softly at ease with the water all around it. And there it stays, folded up in its little stone room, breathing slow, its clever, restless mind finally still, resting deep and safe in the dark until it's ready to unfurl again. Let yourself tuck down into your own quiet den now, just that snug and just that safe, drawing everything gently in close around you, all your busy cleverness going soft and slow, all the day's quick colors fading gently to calm, folded away, small and warm in the dark, with nothing left to do but rest. Let me tell you about the coral, of all the slow and quiet builders in the world, because down in the warm, bright shallows of the sea, there are whole vast reefs that were raised up over ages by creatures so small you could hardly see a single one. Each tiny coral is a soft little thing no bigger than the tip of your finger. Living inside a cup of stone, it builds around itself, drop by drop, drawing the hardness straight out of the seawater and laying it down grain by grain. And when that little creature finally comes to the end of its life, the small stone cup it made stays behind, and another builds atop it, and then another, and another, each one adding just the smallest bit, until over hundreds and thousands of years, those countless tiny efforts rise up together into a great living ridge of rock that stretches for mile upon quiet mile beneath the waves. The largest of these reefs took so long to build that it was already growing, while the great old trees on land were only seedlings, rising a hair's breadth at a time, patient beyond all imagining. And through all the warm nights of all those years, the reef simply rests there in the moving water, sheltering the little bright fish that sleep tucked into its every crack and hollow. A whole slow city of stone raised gently up by the smallest of soft creatures, asking nothing, hurrying nowhere, just quietly building and quietly holding and quietly being there in the dark. Let that slow, soft patience settle over you now, the sense of something vast and lovely made from the smallest of gentle efforts, one quiet grain at a time, nothing rushed and nothing forced. And let yourself sink a little deeper with every easy breath, resting as calm and unhurried as the coral resting in the warm, dark sea. Let me tell you about the sea otters, of all the soft and playful creatures in the cold northern seas, because when the time comes for them to sleep, they do one of the most tender things in all of nature. An otter spends its whole day out on the open water, floating on its back among the waves, diving down for its food and rising up again. And when at last the evening comes and it grows tired, it doesn't crawl up onto the land to rest. Instead, it stays right there on the surface of the sea, rolling onto its back and letting the water hold it up, its little paws folded on its chest, rocking gently with every swell that passes underneath. But here is the loveliest part of all. Before it drifts off to sleep, an otter will often reach out and take hold of another otter's paw, so that the two of them float there side by side through the whole long night, hand in hand, drifting together on the dark water, so that neither one is carried away alone while they sleep. Sometimes a whole group of them will gather this way, a soft raft of resting bodies all joined together, rising and falling as one on the slow breathing of the sea. And sometimes, if there's no other paw to hold, an otter will wrap itself in a long strand of the swaying kelp that grows up from the seabed, winding it gently around its body, like a soft cord tying it to a safe and quiet place, so that it can let go completely and rest without drifting anywhere at all. Let yourself be held that same gentle way now, tied softly to your own safe place, knowing that nothing will carry you off in the night, that you can let go of everything and simply float, rocking easy on the slow swell of your own quiet breathing, held close and kept safe while you drift down into sleep. Let me tell you about the penguins now, out in the great cold silence at the very bottom of the world, because in the coldest, darkest part of the year, when the wind blows hard across all that endless ice, the penguins have found the gentlest way there is to keep each other warm. They gather together in their thousands, standing close in one enormous crowd, pressing their soft bodies in against one another, until the whole great huddle becomes a single warm and living thing out there in the frozen dark. And the wonderful part, the truly kind part, is the way they take their turns. The birds on the outside of the huddle stand against the cold wind, sheltering everyone tucked inside. And after a little while, they slowly shuffle round, the outer ones moving gently in toward the warm middle, and the ones from the middle drifting slowly out to take their place at the edge, everyone taking a turn in the cold, and everyone taking a turn in the warmth. All of them shuffling round and round in the slowest, softest dance, so that no single bird ever has to stand out in the wind for too long. Round and round they go, all through the longest nights of the year, warm and patient and together, the whole huddle turning as gently and as steadily as a slow wheel, until at last the light comes back around. Let that warmth gather around you now, the sense of being held in the very middle of something safe and close, sheltered on every side, nothing sharp or cold able to reach you, just soft warmth all around you, and the slow, easy turning of the quiet night, carrying you gently on toward morning. Let me tell you about the salmon and the long, patient river they follow home, because it's one of the most steady and determined journeys in all the natural world. And yet there's a deep calm at the heart of it. A salmon begins its life in a quiet stream far inland, in the cool, shallow water high up among the hills. And then, when it's grown a little, it lets the river carry it all the way down to the wide open sea, where it lives and wanders for years across the great salt water. And then, when the time is right, something quiet turns over inside it, and it begins the long way home. Somehow, through all those miles of open ocean, it finds the mouth of the very same river it came from, and it turns and begins to make its way back up the water, following the faint remembered taste of that one particular stream, swimming steadily upward against the current, day after day, mile after quiet mile, until at last it comes back to the very same still shallow water where its own life first began. Nobody taught it the way. It simply carries the memory of home somewhere deep inside, and it follows that gentle pull all the way back, patient and certain, needing no map and no light, only the quiet knowing that home is there, and that the river will lead it back if it just keeps softly on. Let that quiet certainty settle over you now, the sense that you too are being carried gently home, that you don't need to find the way or work anything out, that some soft, steady current is already drawing you toward the place where you can rest, and all you have to do is give in to it and let it take you there. Let me tell you about the way a great flock of birds moves together across the evening sky, because it's one of the most beautiful and mysterious things you can ever look up and see. In the soft light just before dusk, thousands upon thousands of small birds will rise up together and begin to fly as one, sweeping across the sky in a great shifting cloud, turning and folding and pouring through the air, now stretching long and thin, now gathering close and round, the whole enormous flock changing shape again and again, like smoke drifting on a gentle wind. And the wonder of it is that no single bird is leading. There's no one at the front deciding where they all should go. Each little bird is only watching the few birds nearest to it, keeping just the right soft distance, turning a heartbeat after its neighbor's turn. And out of all those tiny, gentle adjustments, the whole great shape is born, moving as smoothly as a single living thing, though it's made of thousands of separate wings. They pour across the sky this way in the fading light, wheeling and settling, until at last, a few at a time, they drop down softly into the trees to roost for the night. The great clouds slowly coming to rest, all those small, warm bodies tucking into the branches together as the dark comes down. Let yourself settle that softly now, letting go of any need to lead or to steer, moving only with the quiet pull of your own slow breath, folding gently down towards stillness, the way the whole flock folds down into the trees, coming to rest a little more with every easy moment, until you too are quietly settled for the night. Let me tell you about the great tortoise, of all the slow and gentle creatures on the land, because a tortoise lives its whole long life at a pace so calm and so unhurried that it seems to belong to a slower and kinder time. A tortoise can live for well over 100 years, longer than almost any other creature that walks upon the earth. And it spends all those long, quiet decades moving softly through the world without ever needing to rush at anything at all. It carries its own shelter with it wherever it goes. A smooth, strong shell it can draw itself gently down inside whenever it wants to rest, so that it's never far from a safe and quiet place of its own. And when the cool season comes, or when the day grows too warm and still, the tortoise simply finds a sheltered hollow, tucks its head and its legs softly in beneath its shell, and settles down to rest for as long as it needs. Its slow heart beating slower still, its breathing growing deep and easy, all the world outside going on without it, while it rests in its own snug, quiet dark. There's no hurry anywhere in a tortoise. It has all the time there is, and it knows it, and it moves through its long, gentle life as though every single day were made simply to be enjoyed, one soft, slow step at a time. Let yourself take on that same slow ease now, that sense of having all the time in the world and nothing at all that needs to be hurried, drawing yourself gently down into your own safe shell, letting your heart slow and your breath deepen, settling into the quiet with the calm certainty that there's nowhere to be and nothing to do but rest. Let me tell you about the way the dew feeds a whole tiny world at the break of day. Because in some of the driest, most sun-baked corners of the earth, where the rain almost never falls, there are little creatures and quiet plants that have learned to live on almost nothing but the soft moisture the night leaves behind. All through the cool, dark hours, as the temperature drops, the tiny bits of water in the air gather and settle onto every leaf and every stone and every blade of grass, beating up into countless small, clear drops, so that by the time the first gray light comes, the whole land is quietly glistening. And the little beetles and the small green plants that live there have found the gentlest ways to gather it in. Some beetles climb up to the top of a dune in the still of the early morning and simply tilt their bodies toward the damp air, and the moisture gathers on them and runs slowly down to where they can drink it. A whole day's water collected, drop by patient drop from nothing but the breath of the night. Whole small lives are kept going this way, softly and without any struggle, on the quiet gift the darkness leaves behind. Everything they need arriving gently while they wait. Let that soft trust settle into you now. The sense that everything you need will come to you quietly in its own time. That you don't have to chase after anything or hold on tight. That the night itself will gather up what's needed and leave it gently within reach. And all you have to do is rest and let it come. Let me tell you about the way a caterpillar gives itself over to its long, quiet rest. Because it may be the most complete and trusting letting go in all of nature. For a while, a caterpillar lives its simple life among the leaves, eating and growing and moving slowly along the green stems in the warm air. And then one day, something soft turns over inside it, and it knows the time has come to rest. It finds a sheltered spot, tucked away safe beneath a leaf or along a hidden branch, and it fastens itself gently there. And then it wraps itself up completely, folding away from the whole world into a small still case of its own making, closing the door softly on everything outside. And inside that quiet shelter, in the warm dark where no one can see, it lets go of absolutely everything, softening and dissolving, giving up its whole old shape entirely, trusting completely in the slow secret work that goes on all by itself in the stillness. It doesn't struggle and it doesn't hurry. It simply hangs there in its snug little case through all the long quiet days, resting deeper than anything rests, while inside, without any effort at all on its part, something new and winged and beautiful is slowly and gently taking shape. Let yourself give in that completely now, folding away from the whole wide world into your own warm sheltered dark, letting go of everything you were holding through the day, softening and settling, and trusting the quiet to do its gentle work, needing to do nothing at all yourself, but hang there safe and still, and let the deep rest take you. Let me tell you about the way a slow, warm current moves across the whole wide ocean. Because there are great rivers within the sea, vast and gentle streams of warmer water that drift for thousands of miles across the world. And they move so slowly and so steadily that they carry warmth from one end of the earth to the other without ever seeming to hurry at all. A single drop of water caught up in one of these great slow currents might take years, even lifetimes, to travel its whole long looping path around the world and back again, drifting the entire way, rising and sinking, curling gently past distant coastlines, never once rushing, carried along by nothing more than the soft, endless turning of the sea. And all that unhurried drifting warmth is what keeps whole gentle lands mild and green, softening the winters of faraway shores, carried there patiently across the wide water over years and years by the slow, steady breathing of the ocean. There's no hurry anywhere in it, only the vast calm circling of the water going round and round the whole quiet world, warming as it goes, asking nothing, resting even as it moves. Let yourself drift on that same slow, warm current now, carried gently along with no need to steer and no need to hurry, held up soft and warm on every side, moving only as slowly as the great ocean moves, letting it take you round and down, deeper and warmer and calmer with every long and easy breath, until there's nothing left in all the world but the soft, endless drifting and the quiet. Let me tell you about the manatee, of all the soft and gentle giants in the warm, shallow waters of the world, because there may be no creature anywhere that moves through its days with a calmer, kinder heart. A manatee is a great rounded thing, heavy and slow and soft all over, drifting along through the warm, still rivers and the quiet, grassy shallows without ever seeming to be in any kind of hurry at all. It graces gently on the soft water plants, nosing along the bottom in the warm green light, taking its slow mouthfuls and drifting on. And every little while it rises up ever so easily to the surface, takes one long, slow breath, and sinks back down again into the warmth. It has no need to run from anything, and nowhere in particular it needs to be. So it simply floats, huge and soft and peaceful, letting the warm water hold up all its great gentle weight, moving one broad paddle of a tail slowly, and then resting, slowly, and then resting. And when it wants to sleep, it settles quietly near the bottom or hangs suspended just below the surface, rising up half dreaming every few minutes for a breath without ever really waking, spending its whole slow life in that warm and drifting calm. Let yourself grow that soft and that unhurried now, letting all your weight sink down into the warmth beneath you, held up gently on every side, with nothing at all to carry, nowhere at all you need to go. Let your breath come as slow and easy as the manatees, rising up gently and then settling back down, rising and settling, needing to do nothing more than drift there in the warm quiet, huge and heavy and perfectly at peace, letting the softness hold you exactly where you are. Let me tell you about the seahorse. Of all the small and curious creatures in the swaying underwater gardens, because when the night comes down over the sea, a seahorse does one of the most tender little things there is. All through the day, it drifts upright through the water, that odd and delicate little shape with its curled tail and its gentle nodding head, moving along so slowly that it seems hardly to move at all, the tiniest fin along its back fluttering softly to carry it from one green stem to the next. And when it grows tired, when it wants to rest and stay in one safe place through the long dark hours, it reaches out with that curling tail of its and wraps it gently around a single blade of seagrass or a slender branch of coral, and it holds on, just softly, just enough. It anchors itself there so the slow currents of the night can't carry it away while it sleeps. And then it lets itself sway there, rocking ever so gently back and forth with the water, tethered safe to its own quiet spot, drifting in place through the dark without a single worry, held steady by nothing more than the soft grip of its own tail. Let yourself hold on that lightly now, just enough to feel safe and settled, tethered gently to your own quiet place in the dark. Let everything else go slack and easy, your whole body swaying softly with the slow rhythm of your breath, rocking just a little one way and then back again, held steady and kept safe while the night drifts by all around you. There's nothing to grip tightly, nothing to strain toward, just that one soft anchor holding you exactly where you're meant to be, letting you sway there peaceful and calm until the sleep comes rolling gently in. Let me tell you about the way a nautilus builds its beautiful spiral shell, because it's one of the slowest and loveliest bits of quiet craft happening anywhere in the deep, dark sea. The nautilus is an ancient little creature, one of the oldest shapes there is, drifting through the deep waters much as its kind have drifted for millions and millions of years. And all its long life, it carries its home curled around itself in a perfect spiral, a shell divided inside into many small and gentle chambers. As the creature slowly grows, it builds itself a new and slightly larger room, sealing off the old one softly behind it and moving forward into the fresh new space. And then in time, it builds another and another, each one a little wider than the last, curling around and around in that endless gentle spiral. It never tears anything down, and it never rushes ahead. It simply adds one quiet room at a time, at its own slow pace, carrying the whole record of its gentle growing wrapped safe around its soft body, drifting through the dark water with its whole calm history curled close about it. Let yourself grow that gently now, one soft, quiet breath at a time, with no need to rush toward anything or leave anything behind. Let each slow breath be like one more calm little chamber, curling softly around the last, carrying you gently forward and gently down, deeper into the quiet with every easy turn. There's nothing to build all at once and nothing to hurry, just the slow, peaceful spiral of your own breathing, room by room by room, carrying you deeper into sleep, wrapping you round with a soft and easy calm. Let me tell you about the flamingo. Of all the tall and rosy birds that gather in the shallow lakes of the warm, quiet places, because the way a flamingo settles down to rest is one of the most surprisingly peaceful sights there is. When the evening comes and the whole great flock grows still, the flamingos fold themselves up right there in the shallow water, and each one tucks up one long leg beneath its body and balances softly on the other, standing there on a single slender leg without any effort at all. And then it curves that long, graceful neck around and lays its head gently back along its own soft feathered body, tucking its beak away into the warmth of its own back, folding itself into a soft, rosy shape upon the water. And there it sleeps, perfectly balanced, perfectly still, needing no strain and no effort to hold that pose, for its body knows how to lock softly into place all on its own, so that resting on one leg costs it nothing at all. A whole flock of them stands there through the night like that, soft pink shapes dreaming above their own still reflections, swaying only the tiniest bit as the calm water moves beneath them. Let yourself fold up that softly now, tucking everything gently in close, your head growing heavy and settling down, your whole body finding its own effortless balance the way the flamingo does, held perfectly steady, with no strain anywhere at all. Let your muscles stop their holding and their working, trusting your body to keep you soft and settled without any effort from you, folding your last thoughts gently away, the way the bird tucks its head into the warmth, and let yourself stand quiet and dreaming in the still calm of the night, with nothing left to hold up and nothing left to do. Let me tell you about the way a whole meadow of seagrass sways together beneath the shallow, warm water, because there are soft green fields down there under the sea, and they move all night long in the gentlest rhythm you could imagine. In the calm, bright shallows where the sunlight reaches all the way down, there are wide underwater meadows of soft green grass, long slender blades rooted gently in the sandy bottom and reaching up toward the light. And they stretch on and on, whole quiet rolling fields of them swaying beneath the surface. And with every slow pulse of the water, every long, easy roll of the swell passing overhead, the whole meadow leans softly one way together and then eases back again, all those countless blades bending and rising as one, waving slowly back and forth in a hush of green. Little fish drift in and out among the stems, and the light comes down in soft shifting ribbons, and the whole gentle field just sways there endlessly, hour after hour, rocking in the slow breath of the sea. It never grows tired of the motion, and it never fights against the current. It simply bends whichever way the water goes, soft and yielding and calm. Let yourself sway that gently now, soft and rooted and easy, bending whichever way the quiet takes you, letting every long, slow breath roll through you like a swell passing over a green meadow. Let all your stiffness soften and give, your whole self leaning gently one way and then easing back, moving with the slow rhythm of the water, the way the seagrass moves, never resisting, never straining, just waving there soft and green in the warm, shallow light, rocking a little deeper towards sleep with every easy roll of the swell. Let me tell you about the way starlings pour down out of the evening sky to roost, and how, when the show is finally over, they settle into a quiet you can hardly imagine. All through the fading light, they wheel and turn in their great shifting clouds. But at last, as the dark comes down for real, the whole vast gathering begins to pour itself down into the reeds or the trees below, spilling out of the sky in long, soft ribbons. Thousands upon thousands of small birds, dropping gently down to find their places for the night. And once they're down, once every one of them has shuffled in close among the branches and the swaying reeds, and found a neighbor to press warm against, an enormous hush settles over the whole roost. All that motion, all that endless wheeling and calling, simply folds itself away into stillness, and the great crowd of them goes quiet together in the dark, thousands of tiny hearts slowing down side by side, thousands of small warm bodies settling into the same deep rest, sheltered together against the night. Let yourself pour down out of the day like that now, letting all your own wheeling thoughts spill gently down and settle, folding away every last bit of motion into a deep and easy stillness. Let yourself drop softly into your place for the night, warm and gathered in and sheltered. No more turning, no more circling, just the great quiet coming down over you the way it comes down over the roost. Let your heart slow and your body settle among the softness, held close and kept warm, one small quiet part of a whole sleeping world, drifting down together with everything else into the deep calm of the dark. Let me tell you about the way the moon lays a long silver path across the water at night, because it's one of the most peaceful sights the world ever offers. And it asks absolutely nothing of you but to look. On a still clear night, when the moon hangs full and bright above a calm sea or a quiet lake, it throws its light down onto the water, and the water gives it back, scattered and shimmering, in a long soft ribbon that runs from the far dark horizon all the way across to where you stand. And the loveliest thing about that silver path is that it always seems to lead straight to you, wherever you happen to be. As though the moon had laid it down just for you alone, it shivers and glimmers with every gentle movement of the water, breaking into 1,000 soft points of light and gathering itself back together again, never quite still and never quite the same from one moment to the next, and yet always there, always leading gently home across the dark, quiet water. It doesn't blaze and it doesn't dazzle. It only glows there softly, cool and silver and calm. A quiet road of light lying easy on the sea. Let that soft silver light lie gently across your mind now, cool and calm and shimmering, leading you quietly away from the shore and out across the still dark water toward sleep. Let every slow breath carry you a little further along that gentle glowing path, the light breaking softly and gathering again, never hurrying you, only guiding you on, deeper and further out into the peaceful dark. There's nothing to reach for and nowhere to arrive, just the long soft ribbon of moonlight laid down easy before you, carrying you gently and steadily on into the quiet of the night. Let me tell you about the way a beaver settles into its lodge when the night comes down over the water. Because for all the busy work a beaver does through the day, the place it comes home to is one of the snuggest, safest little shelters in all of nature. All through the daylight hours, the beaver is out there among the reeds and the willows, cutting and carrying, patching the dam, and shoring up the walls, floating branches across the still brown water to exactly where they need to go. But when the light begins to fade and the cold creeps in over the pond, the beaver slips quietly beneath the surface and swims in through a hidden doorway down below the waterline, up through a dark little tunnel, and comes out into a warm, dry room built high and safe above the water. The walls are thick, woven from mud and sticks, and packed down hard, and no matter how the wind howls or the rain comes down outside, in there it stays calm and close and dry. The whole family gathers in together, curled up on a soft floor of shredded wood and grass, listening to the muffled hush of the water lapping somewhere far below. Everything they need is already gathered. There's food stored down beneath the ice for the whole long winter. And the door is a secret one that no cold wind and no wandering creature can find. And so they sleep, warm and hidden and utterly untroubled, in a little house they built with their own patient hands. Let yourself settle into your own safe, warm room like that now. Walls thick around you, and the whole cold world shut softly outside. Nothing able to reach you, nothing able to trouble you. Everything you need is already here and already gathered, and there's nothing left to fetch and nothing left to fix. Let the quiet lapping of your own slow breath be the only sound, far off and gentle, and let yourself sink down into the softness the way the beaver sinks into its bed of grass, hidden and held and perfectly at rest. Let me tell you about the glowworms that light up the roof of a quiet cave, because it's one of the most magical things there is, and it happens in the deepest, stillest dark, far away from any noise or hurry in the world. In certain caves, tucked away in the hills of a few gentle green corners of the earth, the ceiling comes alive at night with thousands upon thousands of tiny blue-green lights, so soft and so many that when you drift beneath them in a little boat on the underground water, it looks for all the world like you floated out under a whole night sky of stars. Each one of those little lights is a small living thing, no bigger than a match, hanging patiently from the cool, damp stone. They don't blaze and they don't flicker. They only glow there steadily, quiet and constant, casting their soft light down onto the black, glassy water below, where it's mirrored back so perfectly that you can hardly tell where the cave roof ends and the water begins. Down there, it's silent, truly silent, the kind of deep hush you almost never find anywhere up in the busy world. Just the faint drip of water somewhere far off and the slow drift of the boat, and all those thousands of gentle lights shining calm and cool above you. Let that deep cave silence settle all around you now. That soft, complete quiet, where nothing hurries and nothing calls, where the only thing to do is drift slowly along beneath a ceiling of gentle, glowing light. Let every little light stand for one of your own thoughts, and watch them all grow still and calm and far away, mirrored softly in the dark water below, glowing quietly without asking anything of you at all. There's nowhere to go and nothing to reach for, just the slow, easy drifting of the boat and the deep, peaceful dark, carrying you further and further down toward sleep. Let me tell you about the way a koala settles in to sleep up in the fork of a tall eucalyptus tree, because there may be no creature anywhere that has made itself quite so comfortable with the simple art of resting. A koala spends most of its life high up among the gray-green leaves, and for the better part of every single day, it does almost nothing at all but sleep. It finds itself a good sturdy fork where two branches meet, a little cradle of wood worn smooth and shaped just right, and it wedges itself gently down into it, tucking its arms in close and letting its round, soft body slump into the tree until the branch itself seems to be holding it in a kind of easy embrace. Up there, the wind moves slow and warm through the leaves, and the whole tree sways ever so gently back and forth, rocking the sleeping koala the way a cradle rocks a child. It has no need to hurry anywhere. The leaves it eats are all around it, close enough to reach without ever really having to get up. And so it stays, drowsy and unbothered, dozing away the long, warm hours high above the ground, with the sunlight filtering soft and dappled through the branches all around. Let yourself sink down into your own perfect resting place now, just the way the koala wedges itself into that smooth, worn fork, every limb going soft and heavy, the surface beneath you rising up to hold you exactly where you need to be held. Let the gentle sway of your own slow breathing rock you the way the warm wind rocks the tree back and forth, easy and unhurried, nothing to reach for and nowhere to climb. Let yourself grow as drowsy and untroubled as a koala in the branches, held safe and close and slow, dozing softly down into the deep, warm quiet of the night. Let me tell you about the way a dormouse curls itself up to sleep through the long, cold winter, because it might be the most complete and cozy little rest in all of nature. When the days grow short and the air turns cold and the food grows scarce, the tiny dormouse doesn't fight against any of it. Instead, it finds itself a snug little hollow, deep in a bank of moss, or tucked away beneath the roots of an old hedge, and it lines the whole thing soft with grass and leaves until it's made itself a perfect little round nest, no bigger than a teacup. Then it curls itself up as small and tight as it can go, wrapping its long, soft tail right around its own body like a warm scarf, tucking its little nose down into its belly, and it lets everything slow. Its tiny racing heart, which beats so fast when it's awake, winds gently down until it's barely ticking over at all, slow and quiet and deep. Its breath grows soft and far apart. Its whole small body cools and stills, and it sinks into a sleep so deep and so peaceful that it can last for months on end, curled up warm in the dark while the frost and the snow do whatever they like outside. And all the while it simply rests, waiting in perfect patience for the warmth to come around again, needing nothing and worrying about nothing at all. Let yourself curl down into that same complete and cozy rest now, small and round and warm, wrapped up soft against the cold, tucked away where nothing can reach you. Let your own busy heart wind gently down the way the dormouse's does, slower and slower, quieter and quieter, and let your breath grow soft and far apart and easy. There's nothing at all you need to do, but sink into the warmth and stay there, letting the long night pass gently by outside, while you rest deep and undisturbed in your own snug little hollow, held safe and warm until the morning. Let me tell you about the way the mist gathers low in a quiet valley in the cool gray hush before dawn, because it's one of the softest, most peaceful sights the whole world ever lays out, and hardly anyone is ever awake to see it. Through the night, as the ground gives up its warmth to the clear sky above, the cold air sinks slowly down into the low places, into the hollows and the river bottoms and the folds between the hills. And there it gathers and thickens into a soft white blanket of mist that lies still and quiet over everything. If you were to stand up on a hillside at that gray, unhurried hour and look down, you'd see the whole valley filled with it. A smooth, calm sea of pale cloud, with only the very tops of the tallest trees and the odd dark hill poking up through it like little islands. Nothing moves quickly down there. The mist just lies, soft and heavy and utterly at peace, muffling every sound so that the whole world seems to be holding its breath. And slowly, ever so slowly, as the first pale light creeps into the sky, the mist begins to shift and drift and thin, lifting gently off the fields in long, slow curls, melting quietly away without a sound until the valley lies clear and washed and new beneath the coming day. Let yourself lie as soft and still as that valley mist now, settled down low into the quietest place there is, heavy and calm and utterly unhurried, filling every hollow of yourself with peace. Let all sound grow muffled and far away. Let every sharp edge in you go smooth and soft beneath that gentle blanket of quiet. And let yourself simply lie there, needing to move nowhere and do nothing at all. There's no rush toward the morning and no reason to stir. Just let the deep gray calm gather all around you and hold you, soft and still and silent, drifting gently down into the very bottom of the peaceful night. Let me tell you about the way a wombat digs itself down into the warm earth to sleep, because deep beneath the quiet ground, in a soft round burrow it is hollowed out over many patient nights, there's one of the snuggest little bedrooms in all the world. All through the cool of the evening, the wombat works away at its tunnels, pushing the loose soil gently aside, shaping the dark until it curves just so. And then, when the burrow is deep enough and warm enough and far enough from every trouble up above, it turns itself around in that small earthen room and settles down to rest. The soil holds the warmth of the day close around it. The weight of all that ground overhead keeps the cold and the wind and the noise of the world softly at bay. And down there in the still dark, curled up in a hollow it made all by itself, the wombat sleeps a long, slow sleep, safe as anything can be, with the whole quiet earth wrapped snug around it like a heavy blanket. Let yourself sink down into that same deep earthen warmth now, tucked away in your own soft hollow, the weight of the covers lying heavy and kind across you, holding you gently in place. There's nothing above you but quiet, and nothing around you but warmth, and nowhere at all you need to go. Let the whole busy world stay up there on the surface where it belongs, far away and muffled and dim, while you rest down here in the snug and settled dark, held close by everything around you, needing nothing, worrying about nothing, drifting slowly down into a sleep as deep and safe as the earth itself. Let me tell you about the way the lily pads lie flat and still on the surface of a pond as the evening comes down. Because there are few things more peaceful than a quiet pond covered over with those broad green leaves, resting softly on the water. All through the warm day, they float there wide and flat and calm, each one spread out to catch the gentle light, rising and falling ever so slightly, with the smallest movement of the water beneath. And as the sun slips low and the air grows cool and the pond goes glassy and still, the lily pads simply stay where they are, resting easy on that soft, dark mirror, going nowhere at all. Now and then, a frog might settle onto one and sit there breathing slow. Now and then, a dragonfly might come to rest. But mostly, the pads just lie there through the whole long evening, holding the last of the light, floating gentle and unhurried on the quiet water, asking nothing of anyone, doing nothing at all but resting on the surface of the calm. Let yourself float like that now, flat and soft and easy on the surface of your own deep stillness, held up gently by everything beneath you, going nowhere and needing to go nowhere at all. Let every part of you spread out and settle and grow calm, resting light upon the quiet the way a lily pad rests upon the water. There's nothing to hold and nothing to reach for. Just let yourself lie there on the soft, dark surface of the evening, rising and falling with your own slow breath, drifting gently wherever the quiet wants to carry you, resting easy through the whole, long, peaceful night. Let me tell you about the way the frogs settle down into the soft mud at the bottom of a pond when the cold weather comes, because it's one of the most patient and trusting rests in all of nature. As the water grows chill and the days grow short, the frog swims down slowly to the deepest, stillest part of the pond, down where the mud lies soft and thick, and there it burrows gently in, or tucks itself into a quiet hollow among the leaves and the silt, and lets everything grow slow. Its little heart winds down until it's barely beating. Its breathing softens and stills until it hardly needs any air at all, drawing in what tiny bit it needs right through its own soft skin. And there it stays, still and calm and untroubled, all through the long cold months, resting in the dark cradle of the mud while the ice locks the pond up tight overhead. It doesn't struggle and it doesn't stir. It simply waits, deep and peaceful and unhurried, holding on to the quiet certainty that the warmth will come round again in its own good time, and that all it has to do until then is rest. Let yourself settle that same way now, down into the softest, deepest, stillest part of yourself, where everything is warm and quiet and slow. Let your own heart wind gently down, slower and slower, quieter and quieter. Let your breath grow so soft and so easy that it hardly seems to move you at all. There's nothing to wait for and nothing to do but be still, held safe in the soft, dark cradle of the night, resting deep and untroubled while the whole cold world does whatever it likes far away above you. Just let yourself sink into that deep and patient calm, trusting completely that the morning will come round in its own good time. Let me tell you about the way a hedgehog rolls itself up into a small round ball to sleep. Because for such a spiky little creature, it knows how to make itself wonderfully safe and snug. When the night grows cool and the hedgehog has finished its slow snuffling wanderings through the leaves and the hedgerows. It finds a soft hidden nook, some sheltered spot beneath a pile of leaves, or down in the warm hollow under a log, and there it curls itself gently inward, tucking its small soft face and its little feet safely into the middle, drawing itself round and round until it's a neat, warm ball with every tender part protected and every spine turned softly outward to the world. And there, all wrapped up in itself, it sleeps deep and sound, warm right through to its middle, needing nothing from anyone, safe from every little trouble of the night, resting easy in its own soft, private dark. Let yourself curl up that same snug way now, drawing everything gently in toward your own warm middle, tucking yourself softly away from the whole wide world. Pull the quiet in close around you like a shell. Let every tender, worried part of you settle safely into the center, warm and protected and held. There's nothing out there that can reach you now. Nothing at all you need to keep watch for. Just let yourself grow round and soft and settled, wrapped up warm in your own gentle dark, resting deep and sound and safe until the morning comes softly round to find you. Let me tell you about the way the very last light leaves the sky at the close of the day, because it's one of the gentlest partings there is, and it happens quietly every single evening, whether anyone watches or not. Long after the sun itself has slipped away below the edge of the world, there's a soft glow that lingers on, spreading slow and warm along the rim of the sky, fading down through gold and rose and the deepest quiet blue. There's no rush to it and no sharp edge. The light doesn't snap off all at once. It simply eases away, little by little, so gently that you can hardly say the moment when the day becomes the night. The colors soften and deepen and blur into one another. The first stars come out one by one into the darkening blue, and the whole sky settles slowly down into a calm and velvet dark, unhurried, peaceful, letting go of the day as softly as anything ever let go of anything at all. Let yourself fade the same gentle way now, easing slowly out of the day, letting all the light and the color and the busyness of it drain quietly away toward the edges. There's no need to hold on to any of it. Let it soften and blur and slip away little by little, the way the evening sky lets go of the sun, until there's nothing left in you but a deep and velvet calm. Let the quiet dark settle over you, gentle and complete, and let yourself sink down into it slowly and easily, releasing the whole long day, breath by breath, drifting softly down toward the deep, still center of the night. And now, let yourself rest, all the way down, with nothing left at all that you need to do. You've come a long, long way tonight, through the deep, slow oceans and the still cold mountains, past the drifting clouds and the falling snow, past all the quiet, patient creatures curled warm in their burrows and their hollows and their soft green swaying gardens beneath the sea. And every single one of them was doing the very same thing you're doing now, resting, letting go, trusting the dark to hold them gently until the light comes round again. The whole wide world knows how to do this. The trees know it, standing quiet in the dark. The rivers know it, running easy toward the sea. The stars know it, glowing soft and slow across the endless, patient sky. And you know it too, deep down in the oldest, quietest part of you. You've always known it. Your body remembers how to rest, all on its own, without a single bit of effort from you. So let it. Let your breath come slow and soft and easy, in and gently out, without your help at all. Let your whole body grow heavy and warm and still, sinking down into the softness beneath you, held up safe on every side. Let every last thought that's still drifting through your mind grow quiet now, slowing, softening, fading away into the dark, like the very last light leaving the evening sky. There's nothing left to think about, nothing left to solve or carry or hold. It can all wait, gently, until the morning. The night is here now, and the night asks nothing of you at all except that you rest. Feel how far away the world has drifted. Feel how soft and quiet everything has grown, all around you and inside you. The whole day is behind you now, finished and set down, and there's a long, calm night ahead, deep and warm and kind, with all the time in the world folded up inside it. You don't have to do anything to fall asleep. You don't have to reach for it, or chase it, or make it happen. It's already coming for you, slow and gentle, the way the dew settles, or the tide turns, or the mist gathers low in the valley before dawn. All you have to do is lie here, soft and still and warm, and let it come. So let it come. Let yourself sink the last little way down now, past the edge of thinking, past the edge of words, down into the deep, quiet place where sleep is waiting to hold you. Let go of listening. Let go of everything. Let the dark close softly over you like calm water, warm and kind and complete. There's nothing more to hear and nothing more to do. Just rest now, deep and easy and safe, wrapped up warm in the great gentle quiet of the night, held close by everything around you, drifting slowly and softly and sweetly down into a long and peaceful sleep. Rest well, sleep deep. Good night.